Welcome to Live on KEXP. I'm your host, DJ Jyoti B Fly, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to the studio today for an incredible performance. I host a world music show called Wopop every Tuesday here on KEXP. You can discover new music via 90.3 FM Seattle, 92.7 FM in the Bay Area, or worldwide at kexp.org and the KEXP app. You can also discover incredible music via our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to right now. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome an incredible performer to the KEXP live studio. Please join me in welcoming Ganavya. Take it away, Ganavya.
Pana sodaras Navi Cheslamaga Ami Pana sodaras sodaras Navi Cheslamaga Kayte boys are Kayte boys are Oh زن شهما
கண்ணே கண்ணே தோல் இரண்டு கல்லாக்கு
முதுகெலும்பு வில்லாக்கு கால்கள் தான் பல்லாக்கு ஓராயா தோல் இரண்டு கல்லாக்கு முதுகெலும்பு வில்லாக்கு கால்கள் தான் பல்லாக்கு ஓராயா ஓராயா
This is live on KEXP.
Just being. And there is so much beauty and comfort in being in love and just being. And there is so much beauty and comfort in being in love and just being. Nila Yadunandana Ghana Ghana Nila Yadunandana Ghana Ghana Nila Yadunandana Ghana Shyama Sundara Mana Mohana Ghana Shyama Sundara Mana Mohana Natavara Giridara Gopalana Natavara Giridara Gopalana Murari Mana Mohana Madhusudana Murari Mana Mohana Madhusudana Krishna. There is so much beauty and comfort in being in love and just being. There is so much.
This is live on KEXP.
It's so lovely to be here. It's especially lovely to be here with my brother, Chris Pattishall. And the first piece that we did started with a poem called Ami Pana Sodaras, which is a poem by, I believe, a 15th century mystic named Laldet or Laleshwari. She was at once both Muslim and Hindu, and she says that I feel like I'm a broken cup that was made in somewhat of a faulty way, and it doesn't matter how much love and grace is poured into me, I feel like it's pouring out all the time. Then she says the thread that connects me to this boat of life, this boat of purpose, this boat of life is loosely spun, it's fraying. And then she says, I wonder who's going to take me home. And we move from there into, to me, who's another Sufi mystic of this time, the composer A.R. Rahman, who many of us love dearly, not only because he basically created the soundtrack for so many of our childhoods, but because he's in the eye of the storm of so many different worlds, and every conversation I've had with him is about love and God. And his song, O Raaya, that I recently sang and released with words by Dhanush, is basically a song about finding your way home. It's almost a mother singing to a child. And she's saying, you can't see the way, and there's a light in the distance that is drawing us there. All of this earth that's spread here is for you, my little one. Every single divine person, thing, God you've seen is for you, my little one. Sometimes you have to fly, even before your feathers are fully there, and it keeps going, but it's a very, very beautiful poem and song. Then we led into a very popular bass line that Elder Alice Coltrane, who towards the end of her life was known as Swamini Turiya Sangeetananda. We combined two songs, a prayer song called Nila and Journey in Satchidananda. And there's this one line that we suddenly started improvising on that is from a poem by Marcellus Williams. Those are our first two songs for you.
Thank you for sharing that beautiful story behind that music. Delighted, and it's lovely to have such deep meaning from both historical context as well as what's happening in the world today shared with us. So thank you.
Of course. I would say three Sufi poets all put into one. The next song we're going to do is a song that we kind of suddenly put in because while we were getting ready, the lovely folks here told us that they knew the song, so this is for you, for all of you here. Slow down, there is no need to rush. Breathe in and breathe out. There is no rush in prayer and prayer. Everything when done right is prayer. Sink into your eyes and I see His love, His devotion and ecstasy. Sink into your eyes, and all I see love and devotion, love and devotion. And devotion sink into your eyes, sink into your eyes, and all I see is love. ecstasy. An ocean refuses. No river. An ocean refuses no river. So lonely. I am never so lonely. I'm never so lonely. As long as I've got you, an ocean refuses no river. வாடியனாலெல்லாம் வருந்தி வருந்தி தவம் இருந்த வாடியனாலெல்லாம் வருந்தி வருந்தி தவம் இருந்த தேடிய நாள் தன்னில் செல்வமாய் வந்தவளே தேடிய நாள் தன்னில் செல்வமாய் வந்தவளே மண்ணுக்கு மரம் பாரமா மரத்துக்கு கிளை பாரமா. So the song says, is a tree a burden for the earth? Is a branch a burden for the tree? Is the fruit a burden for the branch? Then how can a child be a burden for the mother? வாடியனாலெல்லாம் வருந்தி வருந்தி தவம் இருந்த தேடிய நாள் தன்னில் செல்வமாய் வந்தவளே தேடிய நாள் தன்னில் செல்வமாய் வந்தவளே மண்ணுக்கு மரம் பாரமா மரத்துக்கு கிளை பாரமா. மண்ணுக்கு மரம் பாரமா மரத்துக்கு கிளை பாரமா கொடிக்கு காய் பாரமா பெற்றெடுத்த குழந்தை தாய்க்கு பாரமா. மண்ணுக்கு மரம் பாரமா மரத்துக்கு கிளை பாரமா கொடிக்கு காய் பாரமா பெற்றெடுத்த குழந்தை தாய்க்கு பாரமா. அம்மா 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 We are all children. Every single one of us. We are all children. Every single one of us. We are not a burden. We are not a burden. We are not a
So beautiful. Your music is like a balm for my weary soul, Ganavya. Stunning. I heard you saying during rehearsal that the original of Never So Lonely was Ever So Lonely.
Yes.
And I love that reframe.
Well, you may already know this, but Sheila Chandra, who's one of the many women who walked before me so that I get to walk an easier path, has something called the burning tongue syndrome, I believe, where she hasn't been able to make a single sound without it being painful for a really long time. So every time I sing that song, I don't know, I hold her in my heart and hope that all of us who sing the forms that she has given us can be the tongues without pain for her. But yes, that's the story of Never So Lonely.
Gorgeous. So I have a few questions. I'd love to know, so your latest album is called Like the Sky, I've Been Too Quiet.
Yeah.
I'd love to know, what's the meaning and inspiration behind this title?
That sentence is actually from a poem by an older brother of mine, whose name is Kavi Akbar. He's a poet and an author and teacher, and for me, first and foremost, I guess, older brother. And I'm not the best when it comes to time, but I think approximately a year or 2 years before we went in and recorded that album, we recorded an album of mine called Daughter of a Temple. And I don't know what I mean by of mine, because it's not really mine, but something that I maybe was a force in, but and it was my first time allowing myself to, I guess, have some kind of ambition. Ambition seems so scary. I mean, most of us who do this, we do this because this is the only way we know how to live. If we don't make music, we'll die. It's everything to us, and then somehow we live in this world where we also have to pay our bills while we're doing that. And I grew up in a family where someone was either a musician or a dancer, or it was the family business, as they say. And I feel like I saw many shapes of what worked and what didn't work, and I just wanted to keep singing. It didn't matter whether or not people were going to hear it or not. I didn't want to lose my lifeline. And it was only about, I would say 2 years ago, that I, at the advice of an older sister, I call sister, friend, teacher, kind of realized that saying you have no ambition is also hiding from the world. It's like the Vimlakirti Sutra, you're supposed to be in the storm and doing the work. And I was hiding, and I didn't want to hide anymore. So I think that's where that sentence comes from, is Daughter of a Temple was the first time we gathered. And while I was kind of navigating for the first time the complications of desire and ambition and disappointment around Daughter of a Temple, which now has the most beautiful home, it was just a particularly kind of tender moment that Shabaka, who's another older brother, came in and we improvised for 3 days, and this album kind of was additional wind under wings while we were finding our way. And to me, that's what that sentence is. Alice Coltrane, Swami Turiya Sangeetananda says in her 77 self-published manifesto, Monument Eternal, be so big that sky will learn sky. But the second sky is with a capital S. And to me, that's what this line means, is that the sky is always there. The inner sky, the outer sky, Ullure. It's always there, but we tend to notice it on stormy days, or we tend to notice it on beautiful days. And just a reminder to myself and every single person I love that our internal music is always there. And maybe reflecting back in the past few years that I had been a quiet sky, and now I'm trying to clear it open.
I love that, and I ask because I can relate, and I'm sure many of our audience can relate to this feeling of being quiet or hiding. And I feel so grateful that you're taking up space in this beautiful sky, because yes, we need your voice, we need your message, and we need your music. So thank you for sharing. What's something outside of music that deeply inspires you, whether it's nature, philosophy, literature, art?
There's this prayer that I try to sing with my parents every day. Even if we don't speak on the phone, I try to just quickly recite this thing. It's called the Lalita Navratramale, and the opening of it, it's a 9-jeweled prayer. You create 9 jewels in the ether, and then you kind of hand them over, and by handing them over, you become the 10th jewel. But one of my favorite stanzas from it says, Kaade Gatyai. People who read too much sometimes run away to the forest. And I think when it comes to philosophy and language, and I remember what my mother, my father, my grandmother, I guess every single person in my life has kind of said is that be careful about thinking too much. You know, so I am careful, I take their advice on not trying to draw inspiration from kind of manifested grammars. I kind of keep going back to, I think, what my dad once said, which is when you're struggling, turn the eye outward and see how you can busy yourself just loving people. But I also guess it would be outside of music. I don't know, everything feels like music. No, these lights are rhythm that we can hear. Everything is music. But I would say maybe folding laundry well is deeply satisfying. And the kitchen, of course, cooking. Yeah. And writing, I think writing is interesting for me because it's a reflection just within the self without the magnet maybe of other people, but everything feels like music these days.
Everything is art, no? Yes. So you sing in many languages, including your native Tamil, as well as Spanish and English. What role does language play in your music, and how do you express emotion differently through different languages?
Well, I probably mispronounce a lot of things, but I accept that because I don't know, I'm a child, and a child can mispronounce things, I guess. There's a story that I grew up with where there's a particular phrase where instead of saying Amara Prabhu, he says Mara Prabhu, and the teacher kind of scolds the student and says, how can you reduce the entirety of this line that says God is everything to God is a tree? And then I think God comes to the teacher in a dream and says, are you saying I'm not a tree? And I think that's how I feel about all the form that comes out of my tongue. The na, the ga, the gha, the misplaced aspirations are all... I'm soft with it because I would rather try and learn as many grammars of care as possible and be clumsy with it than not try at all. It comes back to the principle of not hiding. And I get to meet people. Even Amipana is in Old Kashmiri. It took a while to track down a scholar who could sit me down but for me, every language every language is just another grammar of care. And we just learn more ways to love each other. And I guess that's just that's where I'm at. I was just trying to learn as many grammars of care.
It's beautiful, and I picked up on that willingness to be just expansive and take risks through your performance. And as I listened to you, I felt myself relax, because perfectionism is just not ever possible anyway. So why not relax into the messiness of life and art? Stunning. So I visited your website earlier and was extremely moved to hear and see the lyrics of an unreleased song you have on there called Cease Fire.
Yeah.
Can you tell us and our listeners the story behind it?
I can. Do you want the whole true story?
Of course, please.
I guess this comes back to grammars of care. The more grammars we learn, maybe the more we can... I don't want to say hide our truths. I'm thinking of Elder Wayne Shorter, who said to me once, learn to be a Trojan horse. And I didn't understand it at the time, what he meant. In fact, I think I just kind of stored away some of those sentences as like, elders have said things, it will take time to understand them folder, and it's just hitting me now that maybe this is what it was meant as a... So basically, I can't remember what happened. I don't have a lot of... I'm not super active on Instagram. I don't have a... but I did say something. I said something online and used the word ceasefire. And then my account was blocked. Instagram blocked my account for a while. And I didn't really know how... It was just grief. I didn't really know what to do with it. And in the way of my grandmother and my family, humor was finally what kind of brought me out of the grief. And what I did was I wrote words. A child sees fire where there should be earth. Little one, I wish I could build you a palace. Tiny little one, I wish I could build you a palace. Tying the right fires in you. You're buried in stories, as in narratives, but you're buried in stories. A child, we are burning a child, we are burning a child, we are burning, we are burning. And people see whatever they want to see in the song. You know, a lot of people thought it was about global warming. Some people heard what they needed to hear. And I think that's the incentive behind understanding, trying to meet as many grammars as possible, is that then maybe we can create a form that is able to communicate the love that we have in our hearts and still survive these kind of various blocks that are coming. And so I tried to upload the song just as an experiment. And it was blocked the first time. And then the second time I uploaded it with captions and split the word as a child sees fire, and then it uploaded. And I just sat there being like, well, but that's the whole story of that song.
We have to be creative as artists to get our work out into the world, and I love that you were able to be clever and get that message across, because there's so many people out in the world who are feeling this with you, including myself and many of our listeners. So art is a mechanism through which we can heal together, through which we can process what we're feeling. And I love your cleverness with this, and would love to see more of that, because being censored or silenced is painful, and we have to respond somehow and not sit down or be silenced. So thank you. Okay, so identity plays a strong role in your music. Would you share how you personally see yourself beyond the labels of artist, musician, or scholar?
I A few years ago, I think the word was cross-disciplinary, then it might have been multidisciplinary, and then it was transdisciplinary, and I I don't know, to be honest. I just feel like I'm just a child kind of bumping into forms and meeting forms, and then teachers kind of pour them very gently into my hand, and then I walk around with them. Most days I feel like I'll leave the labeling to people more invested in kind of description and grammar and maybe even more intelligent minds. I'm just happy kind of being a child in a sandbox and, praying and just being in my quiet corner with people who carry me like Chris. And but yeah, I mean, I do remember once, I think they were calling it a preemptive postdoctoral fellowship. I had this interview and they asked me about how I intend to be able to cross disciplinary lines. And it kind of made me smile because I wanted to kind of give a smart answer, and then I just slowed down and told them the truth, which is where I come from, the lines didn't exist. I had to learn that the lines exist and then learn how to... But I feel like the answer is very often simple. I think it was Henry Threadgill who said, follow what is sacred to you and follow what feels like love to you. And I think that's all I'm doing. It's not a very conscious thing. Just want to play music with brilliant people like Chris, and I get to do it.
Yes.
That's all.
And bring all of your multi-passionate selves to the table. Lovely. Well, it's been a true honor to witness you and experience your beautiful music today. So thank you. Thank you for bringing it to the KEXP Live Studio, and wishing you all the best on your journey.
Thank you, Jyoti. It's particularly beautiful to know your name and just see you in a field of lights.
Thank you. You've been listening to Ganavya live on KEXP. All of the musical magic that we make here at this station is supported by listeners just like you. So please consider going to kexp.org and making a gift to the station to keep the magic alive and join our community of supporters and amplifiers. You've been listening to Ganavya on KEXP. I'm your host, Jyoti B. Thank you.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.